Hey guys, I'm Claire Pelletreau from ClairePels.com, your spot for super simple tips on how to actually make sense and make money off of your Facebook ads without going crazy. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the 5 different types of Facebook ads that you can use in a campaign that will drive traffic to your blog or signups to your list. I'm not addressing the ads that you need for a page likes campaign. That's a whole different animal, which we can definitely get into another time, but there's enough to deal with here in just this kind of campaign that I want to make sure that I really clarify what kind of ads you can use, what you need for each of them, and what they're really good for. So let's jump right on in. Okay, so we're gonna start with the most common ad that you're probably seeing right now in your newsfeed, and that is the link ad. A link ad looks like a regular Facebook post that you have posted to your own wall, to your Facebook page's timeline, and then you just put it out into the world so that it's reaching people who aren't necessarily your fans. You do this by putting together ad copy, an image, a call to action, and a link. Now, as you can see on this ad, you actually don't see the link. You can include a link in your copy, that's totally fine. The only reason I did not in this instance is that I was concerned about having too many lines and the link would end up beneath a little see more button, and I just wanted to make it as simple as possible for people to read the ad copy. But if anyone clicks anywhere in this image or this headline here or the call to action button, then they're going to be taken over to my landing page. The different pieces of this ad are, as you can see, this copy here, which if you're using the Power Editor, you can actually you can add a whole lot of copy. You can be very descriptive. You can tell people exactly what they're going to get when they sign up for your list or for your free opt-in content, which you can't necessarily do if you're creating this ad in the regular ad interface. Then you've got an image which has specific dimensions. As you can see, it's a landscape portrait, it's a landscape style image. I've added some text to it to make this kind of look like a button, and then that is supposed to make people more likely to click there. There's also a headline, which doesn't have to just fit in this space. If your headline is longer, it will flow down into the next line, pushing everything down a little. And then here is more information, which I believe in this case Facebook just grabbed from my landing page, but you can write whatever you want here in the description. And then this is called a call to action button. You've got sign up, learn more, download, whatever you like. I usually like to use sign up or learn more. So that's the link ad. There are a lot of pieces to this. Also, this is your display URL, which you can write whatever you want here. When people click on your ad, it's going to take them to the link that you provide in another little field that's not your display URL. So if you actually have a long, ugly URL, or maybe your URL is actually a lead pages URL and you want to really just kind of focus on your brand, you might want to put yourdomain.com/free or webinar or whatever your free content is. So anyway, those are the different pieces, and you would use this kind of ad to drive traffic to a blog post, to drive traffic to a landing page, which is what I do in 98% of my ads. Again, this is not going to be your ad if you're getting page likes, but this like page button, which really comes up in all the ads that you're going to see in this video, this is like this added bonus where some people just prefer to like your page instead of or in addition to clicking on your ad. So you'll see that when you run ads like these, you're going to get more likes to your page, even though that's not your actual intention. Okay, the next ad is the photo ad. So this is kind of similar, except instead of uploading a link and something that has, that headline and that description and that call to action button, I've just uploaded my own photo, and then I have my description here with a link in the description. If you're going to use a photo ad, you need to make sure that you include your link in the description. Now, what can happen with this kind of ad? People can click on your image and not on your link, thinking that maybe the image is going to take them to your landing page or to some kind of page, but that actually just makes your photo bigger. You know, I mean, this is what happens when you look at any of your friends' photos, is that you click on it, it gets bigger, and the description ends up on the right. Now, a lot of times, people will still end up clicking on your on the URL in your description, but when you open up an image, more ads show up. That's what Facebook does. They put ads below it. They just give you more options of things to do, and a lot of times people are going to just close that image and not bother on clicking on your ads. So that's something that you really need to keep in mind. That said, you have more options when it comes to what image size. If you want to put something up that's not necessarily landscape or it's a longer image than the one in the link ad, that's totally fine. And I have had success with both kinds of ads. For a long time, this was the only kind of ad that you could put an image with, and I still got really good conversions and a good cost per conversion. So this is something I recommend people try out, because it really depends on your audience and what they're more likely to click on. Some people just don't want to click on more links because all of Facebook right now is links. So let's take a look though at the two of these together so that you can compare these two ads to see like what is the real difference. And the main difference is the headline and call to action in the link ad compared to just a very simple kind of cleaner look with the photo image. But what happens when you click on this image versus if you click on this image, different things happen. When you click on this image here in the link ad, you get taken to my landing page. When you click on the image here, the image gets bigger. Is there anything about this image that really needs clarification? Why would anyone need to see it bigger? It's pretty straightforward. The idea here is to get people to click on the link. So from the interest of my campaigns, I'm going to be more likely to run this ad. Then you have the video ad, which now you can see that a lot of video ads or videos in general on Facebook are auto playing. And so that's just when somebody scrolls through their newsfeed and there's an ad, there's a video, it will just start playing automatically. And that can be really cool and something that I recommend that you try out if video is already a big part of your marketing strategy. So what you can't see here in this screenshot is that when someone plays your video ad and then they get to the end, there is a call to action that you can set up inside the Power Editor so that when the video finishes, if people get to the end, then they can click on learn more or buy now, whatever your typical call to action buttons with a link to your site. So you're going to want to make sure that you have somewhere to send these people after they've watched your ad. And also, it's always a good idea on your video ad to include at the bottom, add this in After Effects, add a link to your site. So that's sort of always hanging out in the bottom right-hand corner or something like that. Just to really reiterate that people should be heading over to your website or to a certain page on your website in order to take some action. So then you have a regular old status ad, and this would be like if you just posted something on your own timeline on your page with a link. There's no link preview. It's just short and sweet. Here's the thing, this is pretty uncommon. Like, you don't really see ads like this in your news feed, something that doesn't have an image or a video or just more information, because this doesn't work so well for people who aren't related to your business somehow. They are not on your list or they don't already like your page. So this is the kind of ad that you would create if you want to show your fans some specific update like this one, you want to get people on your list before a big announcement. So you would create this ad inside the Power Editor and then use the targeting options to just show this to your fans. This is the alternative to boosting a post. You might be asking like, Claire, what the heck? Why don't I just write this on my page and then boost the post? Well, I have so many opinions about the boost post button, but basically that button doesn't give you very many options in terms of targeting. So you're likely to waste your money when you boost a post. Don't do it. Use the Power Editor. I promise you, you will get better results. Rant over. Again, another rant. Okay, then you have the offer ad, which I'm going to be honest, I love using this for brick and mortar businesses, because when you click on that get offer button, you get like a coupon emailed to you, and someone can print out that coupon, take it to your business, get a free latte or get a discount on something, and you know exactly where they came from. That is really one of the best ways to use Facebook ads for a brick and mortar business where you can't exactly track online conversions like a purchase with PayPal or something like that. Here's the deal with the offer ad. You don't get a lot of room to write copy. This limited time 30% off, that was like pretty much all I could fit when creating this ad. The same thing, the 30% off training session, they just don't give you a lot of characters for the title. So play with that. Set aside some time to really work on your super short and effective copy, because you're going to need it in order for people to actually take action. So those are the 5 types of ads. I do want to show you though about what these ads look like on different formats. This is what it's going to look like in somebody's newsfeed. But what about in the sidebar? So sidebar ads, now that they've got their new format, the images are bigger, they're supposed to be more effective. I still don't use sidebar ads because I'm really happy with my newsfeed ad results. I haven't ventured into this yet. But if you do want to use the sidebar, which I highly recommend you give that a try, especially if you aren't too happy with some of the things you've been doing yet, you need to be aware of the fact that your ads look very different on the sidebar. So you should probably be creating different ads if you're going to run them on the sidebar. Give them a totally different ad set. That way you don't have to worry about them competing with your newsfeed ads, which tend to do better, and then Facebook optimizes and they never get seen, in other words. In short, use a different ad set for your sidebar ads. But just be really aware of how many characters you can fit with a sidebar ad. Here, this is the link ad that I showed you at the beginning, and you can see that the copy that I wrote just stops because there isn't enough room for all that copy. So you're going to need to write much shorter copy. Here you can see that the image, though, is the same because of the new image sizes for the sidebar. So at least that's pretty awesome. This is an offer ad, and here you've got the call to action button. This might actually be the reason why your ad copy is so much shorter for an offer, because that allows them to still show all of the characters of your copy in the sidebar. The other question is, what about mobile? How do your ads look on mobile devices? So in most cases, they look pretty similar. Here, this is again my first ad that we talked about, the one with a lot of copy and then a call to action. What is missing is the description here that you saw in the other ad. That is just another opportunity for you to be more descriptive and catchy and get people to click. That's just gone from this ad. So these are things that you can actually see in the Power Editor. You can see whether or not your ads are going to look good, how they will look in the sidebar and on mobile devices. So let's take a quick look at how we actually upload these different ads inside the Power Editor, and you'll see what I mean really soon. So here we are inside the Power Editor. I'm inside my account. I've just kind of got some example ads, the same ones that you saw just a second ago. So that link ad that I talked about, you will recognize it here. This is copy, image, headline, description, call to action. So if I'm thinking about running this ad on mobile, which I like to do a lot, I want to make sure I can see how it looks. So I choose mobile newsfeed here at the top. And the reason that this shows up is because under placement, I've got all these three options selected. If I unselect them, then they're not going to show me the preview. So great, I can take a look. I can see all my ad copy is visible, the call to action, perfect. So what does this look like in the right column? Well, like I said, you don't get much room for your copy. So this is why what I'm going to do for this ad, I'm going to actually take off the right column on desktop as an option. And then if I do want to try out right column ads, then I will set up a completely different ad set and only select this and create my ad based on the size of the size of the right column ads. So then how do we actually set up these different ads that I talked about? Well, back when I originally filmed this video, it was really simple. You could do it all inside the same campaign. You could have as many different ad types as you wanted. And then Facebook went and changed everything, as they tend to do and will certainly do again in the future. But if you want to create a photo ad, for example, that all starts at the campaign level. Now when you select the kind of campaign that you're going to create, that limits you to the kind of ad you can create. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I go to create campaign. Let's just call this test. Leave buying type as auction. And then I have to set my objective. So if I want website conversions, which means I want people to click on my ad and then go take some action on my website. Usually in my case, it's signing up for something or buying a product. And I hit create. I'm going to skip ad sets and go straight to ads. Create new. And then name my ad. It gives me the options here after I select my page. My option is either to create a new ad, which is website URL, text, link description, so in other words, a link ad, or to use an existing post. So I guess theoretically, you could grab something that has an image here, like this Instagram photo that I posted. Of course, there's a error. So let me see if I select something that has a link. So then that's not a problem. It wants me to create a link ad. However, let me go back and see if I can change the objective. Look, now they only give me a couple options because of the ad that I created. They're really limiting now. So if I want to have a link ad, I must choose clicks to website or video views, which is weird because I'm actually going to use video views if I have a video ad. But let me go and get rid of this ad. See what happens. Back to campaigns. Now I can go and choose any kind of objective that I want. And this is again all tied up with a kind of ad. So now the only way to do a photo ad that you create in the Power Editor is by choosing page post engagement. So here we are again creating the new ad. I have to select my page. And if I create a new ad, then it's text, image, no headline, no link description. So it's really limiting. And because I chose page post engagement for my objective, that means Facebook is going to show this ad to people who are more likely to click like, or maybe comment or share, but not necessarily click my link. You know how sometimes you're scrolling through Facebook and you're just like on your friends' things, or maybe another business owner that you know, but you're not actually going off Facebook, you're not clicking on their link? Well, Facebook is going to show photo ads to people like that. So this is why I really, really strongly recommend the link ad. I know that earlier in the video I said that you should try out the photo ad. Well, that was back before Facebook made this change, and it's all about who they're going to show your ad to. Right now, I want people to see my ad, click on the link, and go take some action on my website. That's me. That's what I'm currently spending my advertising money on. But you might be in a situation where you just want to get your brand name more known and out there more, and in which case, yeah, page post engagement would be good. But this is another problem with the boost post button. I know I said the rant was over, but it's not really over, because when you boost a post, your default objective on your campaign is page post engagement, not clicks on your link. And I know when I post something and I spend money on it, I want people going to my website. But again, that's just me. Okay, so that's how you create a link ad. Also a status, you could, this is for a photo ad. You could create your status ad here without uploading an image, just some text and a link. But remember how we said that didn't make a lot of sense because people aren't really clicking on those. Then if you want to create, let's see, a video ad, obviously you're going to choose video views. Something to note about creating video ads, that is that when you upload a video, it takes a really long time, because first you have to upload it to Facebook and then you have to turn it into an ad. And when I tested this out with a 3-second video, it took a long time to upload. So just a heads up, make sure you have that in mind, that you're not trying to quickly rush a video into an ad, because it's not going to happen. You're going to have to go make some coffee or take a walk or like buy a new house, because it does take a long time. So your other options, again, this would be what you would choose offer claims if you want to use an offer ad, which again is great for brick and mortar. So everything else is pretty much always the same. You're going to have this choice to create new or edit or use an existing post. But I almost always now create new posts, because usually the things I post to my page they don't fit for an ad. They have a different vibe because they're for my fans, whereas an ad, I tend to show that to people who don't know me. They don't already know my voice. They don't know my business. They might not get they're definitely not going to get my inside jokes. So that is it. Those are the 5 types of Facebook ads that you can use in your next campaign, as well as how to actually put them together inside the Power Editor. If you have any questions for me or comments, or you're just struggling to figure some of this stuff out, please do not hesitate to ask me. I love hearing from you guys. Jump over to the blog, clairepells.com/blog, leave a comment there with your question or shoot me an email. And make sure that you've got my free guide to list building with Facebook ads, which is really a pretty complete guide to what you need to know to get started with your first campaigns, and it'll keep you from getting turned around inside the Power Editor. Cool? Awesome. I will see you over on clairepells.com.